Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is August 31st, 2025. In this video, I'm going to talk about the one sentence that caught my attention last week, the one piece of news that absolutely capsulated, that's a big word, capsulated what I have been thinking. And then when I told this to other people, this one sentence, it was like there was no more need to convince them of anything else. They too thought, that sounds like we're at war. So I'm going to share that with you, that one sentence. I also am going to share with you a gift bag that a fellow prepper gave me last week, a friend of mine that is dear, already dear to me. So I'm going to share with you a couple of the gifts he put in this bag, and then they're ideas. It's great ideas of sharing these kinds of things with other people, even if the apocalypse does not happen, and it may or may not, but even if it doesn't happen, the things that were in this bag were helpful. And there were so many wonderful items. I'm going to just share three with you today. And then we're going to talk about what the Lord showed me. What the Lord showed me about my brain and how I needed to kind of reroute it and reform it. Let Him recreate it. Another thing I was reminded of just within the hour about how our Lord can recreate us. All right, so let's get going. The one sentence. Oh, y'all, maybe it wasn't one sentence. The one news story, the one verbiage, whatever, that just like, what? I mean, my brain kind of went, apparently, our president of the United States has decided to rename the Defense Department to the Department of War. He's decided to rename officially the Defense Department that we call it the Defense Department, and rename it the Department of War. Why would you name something the Department of War if you were not at war? That's my question. He said he likes the feel of it better. He said it just feels better. And I thought, dude, if we're making major decisions on feelings, we're screwed. That's kind of what I thought when I read that. But I know, I'm sure, I don't think it was a flippant decision. So I did think that was an interesting response, though. A little alarming, too, alarming at the same time. I know, and then he went on to talk about becoming a nation that's not just militarily defensively ready, but militarily offensively ready. That our country, the United States, needs to become more robust in that arena. And I thought, okay, then you just go on and follow up with that. What's going on in Venezuela? I don't know what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks there. I don't understand everything that's going on there. I haven't taken a deep dive. I just know we have warships there. I thought I heard that we have Marines there. Not, I mean, not on land yet, but excuse me, still on sea. And I don't know all the details yet. So I'm probably not the person you need to listen to about that news story. Do your own research on that. I know that NY Prepper has done a pretty good job on that, and then Canadian Prepper has done some good work on that too. The escalation in South America was not on my radar, as are so many things nowadays. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if my radar I've turned it off. It's gotten smaller. Maybe I've just quit trying to figure it all out. I don't know. But that when I heard we're renaming it to the War Department, the Department of War, Defense Department, Department of War. So I told two people that. I said, did you hear that just a couple of days ago the president is renaming the Defense Department to the Department of War? And it had the same, I did that to two different people who are just kind of on the fringe of news and current events, although they are interested. They're somewhat, one in particular is somewhat skeptical about what's like, come on, Are we really going to go to war? Is this war really going to happen? And I'm like, for me, we already are. We already are. If you look at what's going on in Europe and who's bombing what, where, Russia bombing federal buildings or government buildings of the UK, a United States business, there is so much escalation and animosity, and it's kind of back like covert. Backstabbing. Mean Girl. Have you ever seen Mean Girls or been the victim of Mean Girls? They come at you in a roundabout way where you don't see it coming. I'd rather see the punch coming than sit through Mean Girl talk. That's why I don't like big crowds of women. I hate ladies' days. I don't like ladies' Bible class, y'all. I've been in too many that have been like, oh, oh, is this what we're talking about now? Wow, didn't see that coming. That doesn't sound very much like Jesus. And I just want to leave. I just want to run. And so, I'm just a little insight into me. But that change in that department, I find to speak volumes where we're at. Tell me what you think in the comment section. What was it this week? Was there anything that happened this past week and the last 2 weeks that absolutely was like, what did you say? Kind of thing, So that was my thing last week. I'm concerned about Venezuela. I watched the spot price on gold. I did not. Canadian Prepper said it went over 3,500. Or maybe closed at that on Friday. I didn't see that, but anyway, it's going up. It's a barometer, y'all. It's just a barometer. Okay, so it is always a good day to prep. If you don't prep, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so don't beat yourself up like, I don't think I'm ready enough. I don't have it. It's all going to be okay. All right. Whatever you have, it will be enough. You just got to do with what you have. No, just do the best you can with what you have. That's kind of one of our sayings for our family. This morning at 4 a.m, our electricity went off. We had this. It was a storm. It was not random. I don't know that it was lightning. It might have been. Could have been wind. We had torrential rain. And our electricity was off for 4 hours. All right. So this is Sunday. So I was like, man, I'm going to have to get some lunch going for these people. Because when we come, my family, because when we come home from church, they're going to be hungry. And I like the meal to be ready. Like, I don't cook. We don't sit around and wait an hour and a half, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. We don't do that. We just take it out of the oven or out of the crock pot and eat it. And so that's how I like to roll on Sundays. But this Sunday, I was like, without any power, y'all, I got out my trusty, I may be calling it trusty from now on, my trusty little stove thing that runs on butane. I had a cup of coffee off of that. I boiled some water and did the drip coffee through the silicone drip cone thing into a cup. So I did that, and then I was getting ready. I was like, man, we're just going to have hot dogs for lunch. I mean, y'all, we could have peanut butter sandwiches. We could have had bread and jelly and bread. We could have made it simple. But, we have our traditions. So, anyway, right before, like right about 8:30 in the morning, right when I was about to not give up. I was going to give up. Like, I don't know what we're going to have. We'll have to cook it when we get home. Boom. Electricity comes back on. I can whip up a little enchilada casserole right quick, and I got it in the oven. It cooked and then stayed warm until we came home, and everything was good. Everything was good. But every time, one of my rookie mistakes, every time the electricity goes off, I learn something about how ill-prepared I actually am. And one of the things I learned this time was one of my oil lamps, like I have a lantern, a hurricane lantern, with oil in it, and I was one lit really well. The other one, I had trouble turning, cranking it, the wick, and so I didn't like that one until I thought, man, when the power comes back on, I'm going to need to work with this one. So I found that out. I also found out that I crammed all of my candles in on the back of the shelf when they should have been in the front of the shelf because it was dark. It was 4 in the morning. I was trying to get through to those candles. I could not get through to them, and so I thought, man, I need rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. There you go. Okay, now when it comes to, I don't want this to tear. When it comes to giving prepper gifts, now this was the bag my friend gave me. I hope it's okay that he's a viewer, so I hope it's okay that I'm showing this. I'm not going to show everything, but I was like, when he gave this to me, I went through it. I thought, oh, you are speaking my language. First of all, matches. Who doesn't love, what prepper doesn't love a box of matches? I haven't met one yet who doesn't. Matches. Excellent. And these are the good kind, the diamond. So wonderful. I was thrilled with that. Then I absolutely loved this, the ankle support, a little first aid thing, y'all. Don't forget stuff like this. It's a good prepper item. It doesn't cost very much. Get it and stock it away. I was like, oh yeah, baby, that's good. And then, of course, let's see, where was it? What was the other thing I got? The toothbrush. The Humble toothbrush. I use an electric toothbrush. So I got to thinking this morning when the electricity went out, I thought, I know where I have another toothbrush when my electric toothbrush can't be charged, because my friend gave me this. And so, y'all, it's the simple things. There's so much more in here, and I'm going to show them all to you. But these are the first 3, and they were like, to me, that's gold. To me, I love gifts like that. So when you're giving gifts to other preppers or to people who are clueless about prepping, keep things like that in mind. Now then, I know we're kind of going fast through this, but I got to get on. I've got to do things this afternoon. I have learned some things from the Lord. He has taught me so gently. If you don't, first of all, let me just say, if you don't know Jesus Christ and what he can do for you and the power of his recreating your heart into what he wants it to be and how beautiful that can be, then you are losing out. You need to learn Jesus. If you're not as close to him as you'd like, then spend time with him. The way you strengthen relationships is through time and communication, right? Jesus is no different. So I have been, y'all know, I've been under a lot of stress trying to move my parents out of their house over here to my house. And so I've had a lot of details in my head spinning around. We've got to do, and I've been overwhelmed at times. Truly, I have. But the Lord showed me this passage, and when I turned to it, I thought, I don't know what I'm going to learn here, Lord, but okay, I'll read it. Luke 10, starting in verse 38. It's the old Mary and Martha, y'all. It's the old, do you need to clean your house or not clean your house, ladies? I have sat through so many classes where people say, well, it's better not to clean your house and go to church than it is to clean your house and not go to church. That's stupid. Those are stupid things to conclude from this, okay? To me, I'm just like, and then some people say, I have literally sat in Bible classes where women have said, I really don't care what that says. I think cleaning my house is more important than anything. And I thought, wow. Well, I suck at cleaning houses. So my house is never clean. It's cluttered. It's clean, but it's cluttered. And I don't care. I don't care. None of us care. We're all happy with the way it is. But that's not what this passage is about. And so the Lord pointed that out to me. So let's read this. Luke 11, verse 38. As Jesus and his disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me. But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all the details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." Okay, so I read that, and it was as if Jesus was saying, "Gina, why are you getting bogged down in the details of your life? I will take care of the details. Quit being distracted by the details. Quit rehashing details in your brain. Sit at my feet, child, and listen." And I love it when he says there is only one thing worth being concerned about. Y'all, if I can narrow my life down to one thing, that's good. And Jesus has. That's the beauty of this. It has been narrowed down to one thing. And that one thing is Jesus. Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he taught. Open our ears, y'all. Gina, I needed to open, the Lord was like, open your ears. That's all you need to be concerned about, is listening to me. Hear me through this. I'll iron out all the details, but you're letting the details distract you. Ever been there? Has that ever happened to you? Sometimes I think I'm the only one on the planet that's like that, like clueless sometimes. I've known Jesus all my life, and he still is teaching me beautiful things like this. The one thing there is only one thing worth being concerned about. And Mary has discovered it. I want to discover it. I want to be like Mary. I've always thought I was like Mary in that I'd rather be sitting and chit-chatting than working in the kitchen. That's me all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. That's how I roll. But when you are in groups of women, sometimes, especially churchy women, you get well, you run into Marthas. And I've met a lot of Marthas. And not that I'm married that have discovered the one thing, but that I would rather be sitting and talking to people. I'd rather be listening to people. The meal will always take care of itself. It really will. The house will too. I would rather sit and visit with my children and laugh and look at their memes and their reels, and I don't get half of them. They talk a whole different language than I do, but I would rather sit and just sit beside them and hear what they have to say, and then share what I know with them from time to time if the opportunity presents itself. I'd rather do that than be in the kitchen keeping it nice and neat and clean and preparing meal after meal after meal, and then griping if somebody spills something. I have my mother-in-law is very, very she's very ducks in a row. She doesn't like dust or dirt or spills or stains or accidents that children sometimes do. And so it makes it real tense to be around people like it does me. Like, it's only a matter of time before I make you mad at me because I'm going to mess up. But the Lord is saying here, look, just sit down and just listen to me. You're worrying about the details. You're getting upset and worried over details. And it was that the Lord pointed out to me. Let go of the details, child. I'll take care of them. So if that helps you at all, I hope it does. It certainly was eye-opening for me, and the Lord was so gracious and good to teach me that. So hopefully, I really want y'all to pray that I'll be able to make more videos this week. I'm wanting to. That maybe things are we're getting to the point with the move that I can slow down a little bit with their packing over there. I've discovered a lot of my childhood that was packed away, and I didn't know it was still there. I didn't know they'd kept my velvet Y'all remember Velvet, Chrissy and Velvet dolls? I should show you. My mom and dad kept ours. Mine was Velvet and my sister's was Chrissy, and their hair pulled out and you could fix their hair, and then they had a knob on the back you could twist and make it short again. Do you remember Chrissy and Velvet? I don't know if you had one. Anyway, I might get on here. I might bring her on here and show you. Look what I found in the barn, y'all. Anyway, so that's been my life for the last few weeks. But those are details. And what I really need to be concerned about is sitting at the feet of Jesus and listening and letting him recreate me. Because I was reminded of how beautiful that is this morning at church. So I'll leave that with you. Y'all stew on that, chew on it, whatever you got to do. Stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.